Hello everybody. I hope you're doing well today. It's sunny and 51 here in my part of Virginia, and I'm loving it. Of course, I hope it's not going to be too bright while I'm trying to do this video. I'll do the best I can do, and I hope you can see it well. I'm just giving you an overview of that end of the room, and we'll start over here at the window and work our way around. I'm not going to do no shout outs today because this video will be a little bit longer, and I'll go back to the shout outs when I'm not doing as long of a video. I appreciate y'all being here, and I hope y'all enjoy seeing the rest of the kitchen. Right here at the door, I have that little Santa wall pocket with a little elf in it that we got at a yard sale several years ago, and this little needlework picture. We've had this for years. I can't even remember where it came from. And of course in the window I have some of my little vintage tiny Santa mugs and a couple of John's Grinch ornaments hanging off the window. And my Christmas cactus has just been blooming, and there's a bunch more buds coming up. I had hoped all the blooms would last till you could see it, but it's just one on it, but many more buds coming. And this is where I keep a lot of the house plants. These two little elves, knee huggers, are two that Janet brought me also. And there's another one of those beautiful light up Santas that our friend gave us years ago. And of course, you know I have my house plants everywhere. And that's a vintage Santa hanging on the wall. And I have some of my old kitchen utensils hanging here too. If y'all want a closer look, if you haven't already seen it, I did a separate video on this cupboard with all of John's Grinch goodness on it. Y'all remember these squeaky floors. On this end of the table, I kept the decor fairly simple because I have things we use every day. My peels are there, our scissors and things like that, and a salt and pepper. All I did was put a couple of the candles on there, and I put one of my little vintage ironstone pitchers with the pie crimpers in it. And they are all vintage ones. And one of them, you'll remember, is that one that was made, the crimper part was made with an old coin. I showed that in a haul. I believe that might have been last year. And then another one of the wood ones is from France. And for the centerpiece, I used the green spongeware pitcher, and I put a lot of things in it that looked Grinchy. And I hung some Grinch beads off of it. Those are the ones that came from Walmart this year. And that little owl toothpick holder, that's one I've had, gosh, I know 30 or more years. It's made in Japan. Our generator tests itself once a week, and it just came on, and I'm sorry. I forgot what day it was. And on here, on the two-tier tray, there's one of John's Grinch mugs, some of my little vintage creamer, that precious little boy with holding the wreath. I may have told you that's one years ago I babysat so I could stay home with our kids. And one of the little kids that I kept, this was a Christmas gift from him. And that's just a precious gift for me. And back there is that little mischievous angel. And on this shelf is another Grinch mug and the little Grinch record player Hallmark ornament. And the egg holder with a vintage ornament in it. And of course, we couldn't find a red truck placemat, cork placemat, so he has the ones with the Beatles and the old Woody station wagon. Back there is another two-tier tray I'll just give you a little look right across there. And then I'll walk over here. You can see down under all these shelves, I now have all my green bowls, my vintage bowls there. Some are filled with utensils, red-handled utensils. One has a popcorn garland. And over here, there are some yellowware balls in the bottom one there. And some of my wooden bowls. And of course, the crock full of rolling pins. And then the old pantry box has the shoe forms in it, or shoe lasts. And the Grinch's hand is stealing a ball. And more of those sweet little vintage Santa mugs. Those are the tiny ones. And more of John's Grinch things. And in this 2-tier tray, I love this Grinch mug. I love the shape of it. And of course, there's a little vintage boy holding his stocking, and Grinch beads that a friend made for us a couple years ago. Another cute Grinch mug, and Grinch. My mind just went blank. And down here are the Grinch salt and pepper shakers and a little Grinch figurine. Coaster, Grinch coasters, good gracious of Moses. And here is a cute little Grinch bobblehead if you push the button. And this little dude, the sun makes him tick, tick, tick all day long. Sometimes it's a little irritating. And there are some more Grinch beads that came from Walmart this year around the copper colander. And I have those copper cookie cutters that we got in that fall looking tin. I have them in that vintage bowl that I got this year. And there's that dollar Lori Mitchell, because her little apron bow was broken in the back. It doesn't even show. And I have John's little Grinch tree on top of our vintage scale. And down here is the bubblegum machine that John painted Grinch color, and it has Grinch candy in it. And there's a snow globe. And there's John's, I didn't light the little Grinch up because it doesn't really show when the sun's this bright. And then his Grinch nutcracker. And there's his big Grinch that we got at Hobby Lobby. I believe that was the second year that he was collecting. And more Grinch signs. And then that super beautiful one, gingerbread sign that we got at Cracker Barrel. That wreath came from Walmart several years ago. I'll give you a look at the whole buffet, and then we'll look at it a little closer. And of course, for the backdrop is that gorgeous light up truck print that we've had for several years that came from Kirkland's. I just have my ironstone pitcher sitting on that vintage Angelus marshmallow, and I have a candle sitting on that vintage scale, and that is a Dunn canister. And those little gingerbread spreaders, I've had those for a long time also. That's a vintage Santa mug on that green scale, a blue sky gingerbread house. And there's that super, super beautiful Lori Mitchell that we got from kids last year. I just love that one. And he looks perfect with that gingerbread tree that our friend Donna got us. And there's a little gingerbread light up house. And inside there, I just have some various items along with my prized marmalade jars. And hanging on it are those copper gingerbread lights that we got at Michael's this year. I think they're just beautiful. And there's that gingerbread butter dish and the salt and pepper that we got last year. And here are our wonderful set of winking Santas that of course came from a yard sale many years ago. And there's the gingerbread measuring spoons that a friend got me, and some other various gingerbread pieces and some vintage cookie cutters. And this is that Santa measuring picture that we got at Home Goods this year. And there's, of course, an Anna Lee. And he's getting ready to decorate some gingerbread. And those pieces are sitting in that brick mold that we got this year. So you can see all of that. And you got a sneak peek of this when I was showing you the cupboard yesterday. Down there is all John's red truck items. He still loves his red trucks. And another elf that Janet gave us. And I'll go from the bottom to the top and then work our way back down. Up on top is that wonderful Santa boot with the elves on it, with all the different little decorations on it that we got at that Civic Center flea market. I just think it is precious. And of course, there's a lot of Lori Mitchell on these shelves, and a couple pieces of Ray Dunn too. More of the vintage. I think these are adorable, the faces on them. And our marmalade jars, Johanna Parker. A whole shelf of these wonderful, beautifully dressed Christmas angels. Well, a couple of them, I think all of them have wings back there somewhere. They're little wings. Yeah, a couple of them have smaller wings. But I think they're just gorgeous. And I'm so happy we have them. And there's the little angels that spell out Noel. And I did get these two little adorable elves this summer at an antique shop. It was at a time I didn't have enough for a haul. And I'll probably put those out again for St. Patty's. And then these two spell out Noel. Johanna Parker snowman. Precious little bone china angels. And a Lori Mitchell reindeer. And there's a tiny little vintage reindeer in that tiny little cloche. More vintage bone china pieces. And Lori Mitchell. Back there is the truck plates we got John this year. And there are those super unusual Santa bells. And a red handle cookie cutter and rolling pin and cookie cutters. And more of the Johanna Parker. And of course, another crock full of rolling pins. And y'all saw all of this yesterday in a separate video, so I'm not going to go over every little thing. I'll just kind of give you a look-see. So the ones of y'all that didn't see that video, go on back and look at it, because I opened the cabinet doors and show you everything. And I love the top of the cabinet this year. And I'm so enjoying that red transferware that we got at the sale this year. And the wonderful green pickle jar. I just turned the label around so you could see the balls better. And of course, y'all have already seen the living room in the collab. Now here is the adorable little Anna Lee tree. I just think it is precious. And then more Anna Lee standing around. And the tree is in one of the old vintage boxes we got this year. And there's some primitive candy canes down in there and a snowflake. I think that one's adorable. And on this table, there's some vintage balls in those Pyrex bowls. And those really unusual figural balls. They're in another vintage pantry box or measure. So many cute Anna Lees. I love that one on the rolling pin, and I love this little gingerbread one. Some of these I know we've had 20 years or more, and some of them are newer ones. All my bee and my English cottage ware is in there. And down here, the elf is hanging out in that great old primitive toolbox with lots of my primitive kitchenware, my woodware, beetles and spoons and graters. And up here is the frosted snow cone machine. And this is the kitchen tree, along with some gingerbread things on it. And under it, since it was a kitchen tree, I put some of my vintage kitchen items. The butter mold and a can opener, a strainer, a cookie cutter, and this little thing here is a knife sharpener. And I'll show you some of the things on here. Love that little felt Scotty. Lots of miniature kitchen utensils and some gingerbread pieces we got last year at Walmart. And some miniature Fiesta ware pitchers. Little sifters. Little scoops. Some little tin molds. Just anything that would be used in a kitchen. And there's the apron for Mrs. Claus to wear as she's baking. And this gingerbread towel, I've probably had that 20 years or more. And on the door is a Johanna Parker, the door to the freezer. And of course this over here, y'all saw this recently in a separate video. And this is another area that I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And then the box that we put over the door, I put some of our super old spice tins. Those are the stenciled ones, and they're golden rule. So these are the older golden rule that are stenciled. And I put the little tree that's in the little thread spool, and one of my coffee meals, and another old coffee tin. And I used that little soft wool garland that we got at Home Goods this year. And of course, a Grinch. A big Grinch. And up there is the hot cocoa sign. Lots of Polish stoneware in the cupboard. Christmas Polish stoneware. And Ray Dunn tree measuring cups that a friend got us. Polish stoneware snowman. And then down here, I told you John thought you could never have too many Grinch mugs. There are a lot more beautiful Grinch mugs here. And my vintage Drost cocoa. And this is an old Hallmark ornament. Vintage spices. And that's the hot cocoa gnome that Vicky got me several years ago. And of course I keep my coffee filters in the big dog bowl. And back there, that's the 8 o'clock coffee bank or razor holder as some of them were used for. Vintage. And that's a little vintage creamer we got this summer. And that's one of John's birthday presents. And that little Santa and that little Santa on top of it's a salt and pepper. The head's the salt and the bottom's the pepper. We got those this summer for just little of nothing. And of course, I don't know how many of y'all have found the Grinch coffee creamer. There's a peppermint. This one was the frosted sugar cookie. And the other one is something chocolate. I can't remember exactly. But this one was actually pretty good because it wasn't so sweet. I don't put sugar in my coffee, so I don't like super sweet creamers. And this one wasn't. And of course, John wanted to save the bottle after I used it all. And more Christmas mugs. And up here, you know, this is a favorite area with these gorgeous little Christmas lady planters and the vintage Santa pitcher and cups and the old hankies and a couple more of the old planters. I looked on eBay because I thought, oh, I'm going to, you know, I looked way before Christmas just to see, oh, I probably can find a few that I can use because I had a gift card. Well, I'm not paying $100 and some a piece for these, so unless I find some at a yard sale, I don't think I'll be adding to that collection. But I'm thankful for what we have. And of course, there's John's stacking mugs. I'll open this door up because it's really a glare on this one. And of course, more John's Grinch dishes that we actually use. He loves being able to look in all directions and see the Grinch. And a Grinch pot holder. And this Santa towel here, I've had that probably 20 years. I don't ever use it. They're just for looks. Everybody knows better than to try to use it. And there's the home that Vicki got me years ago. You change out where the O would be with the different seasons. And that's a little English Toby jug. And that little tea party piece is one that our daughter got me when she was young. And up on top of there, some more of my vintage bowls and green depression glass and that spongeware baking dish. And of course up there is John's prize vintage, well, they're probably antique, clover pieces. Another wonderful Grinch picture. And down here in the corner, a Grinch spoon rest with all the other Christmas spatulas, one of my favorite vintage green bowls, and the Lori Mitchell canisters with candy in it, of course, and a favorite piece, this spice box. It's an antique one, and I have those little super cute pine cone guys that came from yard sales years ago. Look at that little one on a skis. And that little tea bag holder, teapot, goes with that little teapot box that I showed you. And the little box came with the set, with the tea bag holder. And a couple more of those little adorable things. So this is all of the kitchen tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing it. And I'm not sure what I'll be doing next, but I'll definitely keep coming at you with videos as fast as I can. I'm trying to get things done just in case I get sick. So far, so good. I appreciate y'all being here. Again, I apologize. This is another long video. So I hope you have the patience to sit through it all, or maybe you can watch part of it at a time. Love and blessings to y'all from me and John and baby boy, and we will see you again soon. Till the next time, bye-bye.